Now, from today's TMJ4, this is Wisconsin Tonight. Here's Carol Meekins and Mike Jacobs.
And thanks for joining us on Wisconsin Tonight. I'm Courtney Garish. Carol is off.
And tonight we're going to wrap up our historic Milwaukee series. We've got a behind-the-scenes tour of the Riverside Theater.
It is one of 3 theaters managed by the Pabst Theater Group.
And it has a story all its own. Jesse Garcia reports.
This is the youngin' of the bunch. And by youngin', this was built in 1928. So it was towards the end of the vaudeville boom.
Imagine back in the day, variety shows with comedians, dancers, and animal acts were the rage. Vaudeville lost its luster after World War II, and this 2,500-seat space changed into one large movie theater.
My parents have memories of coming to see Ben-Hur here in the 60s.
Nowadays, the Riverside is for music.
2 through 6 are all dressing rooms. That's a lot of dressing rooms, and we use all of them because, you know, when you have someone like a Neil Young or Paul Simon, or especially John Mellencamp had a lot of people. He had like 75 people or something ridiculous.
The elevator itself feels like a walk back in time, but when you step out, you've returned to the present. So coming off the elevator, you walk into this backstage area on the 8th floor, and to talk a little bit more about that, I'm going to bring in Paul Maxwell, who is the hospitality manager here. So can you show us around? What do you have here?
This is our dining room. This is where all of the acts we have at the Riverside come to eat dinner and hang out before they play shows with us. What better way to hang out and chill before a show than hit the arcade games? And we have some vinyl over here in the corner. We have a bookshelf for our more intellectual guests. Not that they all aren't. This is our kitchen. We cook for about 120 people in the course of a 3-show day. All the cooking for Turner Hall Ballroom, the Pabst Theater, and Riverside Theater happens in this kitchen.
A groovy place to relax, but just as soon as you feel modern again, you're back 70 years. This is believed to be some sort of old-fashioned air conditioning system that still functions to a degree. You see this on your way to the part of the Riverside that might send chills up your spine. All right, I'm back with Andy, and is it accurate that there are rumors that the Riverside is haunted?
There are rumors, yes.
Okay.
Whether you choose to believe them is another thing. Are the bowels of this place creepy? That's confirmed, yes.
And we are in those bowels right now.
You know, any historic building you go into, you know, that dates back to 1928, and this is all, you know, original back to that time, is going to have sort of a haunted feel to it. And this is where all the heating and cooling happened, was in this huge thing here. So who knows what former artists are back here.
Right. I was going to say, you wouldn't want to dig around and find some bones. As we talk, there's a slight thumping noise in the background. Hard to hear on video, but Andy and I were definitely aware.
I don't know, there's some creepy knocking going on behind me right now. So actually, I changed my mind. I believe in it.
Time to leave the Claridge Fan Company all to itself, thank you very much. We feel better back by the seats, where Andy picks up the turbulent history of the Riverside.
Just thinking about when it opened, 1928, well, in 1929, the Great Depression happened.
Sure.
So it was sort of, from its very first day, had struggled to survive.
Philanthropist Joseph Zilber saved it when others wanted to make it office space or a beer garden.
Only stagehands work up here.
One more place to see. Look how high we are now as we've come up to what was once really truly a projection room.
Yes, it was a projection room really up until about the mid-70s is really when we stopped showing films here.
1960s equipment still sits in this room.
Behind this couch here that our stagehands sit on when they're relaxing, when they're not doing their shows, this is for old film reels.
Oh, wow.
So that would just sit right in there. And so whatever is going to be showing, you know, oh, we're going to show Grease tonight. So we're going to take this out and put it in there.
Aside from the reels, when you look out, you can really appreciate the Riverside. A beauty all her own. Box seats still in use. Several gorgeous light fixtures hang from the ceiling. Red velvet adorns the seats.
Most cities don't have even one movie palace anymore. It's extremely rare. Every other city has been torn down most of their historic theaters and places, and now we're here in 2013. This is a huge chance for Milwaukee to really set itself apart a bit from some other cities, because we have these spaces and new businesses and new life is going into them, and all of a sudden we realize why these places were magical to begin with.
That's thanks to forward-thinking leaders and generations of people who appreciate both entertainment and history all in one delightful place. In downtown Milwaukee, Jesse Garcia, today's TMJ4.
The Riverside and the Paps really are treasures, aren't they?
I've learned a lot in our series.
And a big thanks to Andy Nelson and Jesse Garcia for the storytelling. By the way, we have put all 4 of our historic Milwaukee stories on our website, tmj4.com/Wisconsin Tonight.
And you can also find behind-the-scenes pictures from our tour of the Pabst and Riverside Theaters. Go to the website and click on Behind the Scenes.
This next story